Hi Shamrocks, it's Mrs. Kolchuk. I just wanted to show you how you can use the library resources for your U.S. History News broadcast assignment. So we're going to start a little tutorial here at the main Catholic Central homepage. So as you can see, we're at catholicentral.net. Not your MyCC account, but the main CC webpage. From here, the library resources are located under the academic tab, and we're right here, library resources. So if you click there, that's going to take you to the library's own webpage, and this is where all of our online resources are located. So for this assignment, I put together a separate web page with all the links on it. It's on this assignment resource tab, and it's just in alphabetical order under the name of your assignment. So here we are right here. So if you go ahead and click there, these are the links and the resources that I'm going to go through with you today. So for this assignment, the first thing you obviously have to do is pick what decade you want to focus on, and then from there you can go ahead and choose your 3 different topics that you're going to cover in your news broadcast. So there are a couple of ways to look at what happened in any particular decade. The first of which are these database resources. So a database is a collection of information about a certain topic. So we do have a database that just deals with U.S. history. And it does have a section dealing with the 1990s and the 2000s. Unfortunately, they have not created a separate section for the 2010s to 2019, but I can show you how you can find information about what happened in that decade. But just for the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to click on this first link here and look at what happened in the 90s. When you are doing this from home, it's going to ask you to log in with a password, and your password is going to be Shamrock. So before we even get started, I want you guys to pay attention. At the top of the screen here, it says sign in with Google. If you guys go ahead and sign in with your CC email address, that's going to allow you guys to save everything right to a Google Drive, and it will be very easy for you to share resources within your group. So on this main page here, it's just going to give us an overview of what happened in the 90s. If I click read more, it's going to expand on this so you guys can browse and use this to come up with some of your topics. And if I go back here, I wanted to point out some of the resources available within this database. So you obviously get magazine articles, newspaper articles, and such, but there are also image and video clips, all of which can be incorporated into your presentation. So I just want to go back. If you don't see anything within that database, any topics, I do have a bunch of ebooks that also break out the decades. To look at the overview, the best places to look are these American Decades ebooks or these UXL Decades ebooks. These have all 3 decades you need, so you may want to start there. So you can go ahead, and I'm just going to stick with the 90s again. And from here, it's going to give you kind of what's contained in this whole ebook. It's actually a 10-volume ebook, but for this decade, you can see what it covers. If you want to look at an overview of what happened in the decade to get your topics, you can click on this introduction link, and this is going to give you a short introduction kind of highlighting what happened in that decade. So these are some useful tools for you guys to go ahead and pull out the topics that you then want to research and include in your news broadcast. So to research the information for your news broadcast. You're obviously going to get more information if you take a look at the databases. The databases contain not only ebook articles, but also articles from magazines, academic journals, newspaper articles, and that kind of information. So if I stick with the 90s and I want to research the Y2K bug, I can go ahead and start typing in my topic, kind of auto-fills it in for me. I can go ahead and click search, and it's going to show me the information that this U.S. history database has on my topic. So reference usually deals with encyclopedia articles or ebooks dealing with that. I've got magazines, articles, and I also have newspaper articles. So you guys can go through here and see what will work for your assignment. If you go back into reference, this may give you a more comprehensive look at the topic on the Y2K bug from the Encyclopedia of E-Commerce. I just go ahead and click on the title of the article, and here is the full text of the article for me. So if I have signed in to Google, I can then go ahead and send this right to my Google Drive. You guys also need to cite your sources for Mr. Mac. Our resources provide you with the citations. You can click on this cite option right here, and here is your citation for this article automatically in the MLA format. Once again, you can go ahead and save that right to your Google Drive. That way everything is in one place, and it does make it very easy for you guys to share these articles between your group. So that's how you're going to look for information within the database. The ebooks that I've pulled out, like if I go back into the 90s, there is actually an option over on the right-hand side to search within publication. That's telling our search tool here that I only want to look for information on the Y2K bug from this particular volume of this particular book. So if I go ahead and click submit, it's going to give me any information about my topic that's contained in that particular book. If I go back, if you happen to type in your search term at the top, it's actually going to search the entire ebook collection that the library has access to. While that's not necessarily a bad thing, it is going to generate more results for you, meaning more information you had to wade through. So when I did my search here, I had 2 results, but if I do it over here and I look at all of our ebooks, you can see I now have 42 results. Once again, not necessarily a bad thing, but now you've got to look at all of these to see what might be the most useful for your assignment. So if you guys are choosing to do something in the later decade, the 2010 to 2019, I do have a couple ebooks that deal specifically with that decade, so you can browse and look at an overview, and then once you find your topics, you can go back into this U.S. history database to get more information on any of those topics. If you come up short and you're really not finding anything, you can always fall back on to our main Power Search here. Power Search is kind of like the library's Google. It's not going to stick at looking at just one database when it does its search. Rather, it's going to cover multiple databases. So you get a lot of information when you do a Power Search. But if the other resources aren't cutting it for you, please go ahead and try this. Once again, when you're doing this from home, your password is going to be Shamrock. Now this is our results screen. There is a lot of information to look at. There are over 2,000 magazine articles, about 200, close to 300 academic journal articles. And an academic journal is a more scholarly source. Usually these articles are written by experts in the field. Books, this actually refers to chapters or sections from ebooks. So once again, here's our Encyclopedia of E-commerce article that we actually looked at before. And then of course we have newspaper articles. This is a lot to wade through. You can filter your results and limit it by a specific subject, like Y2K and the end of the world, or the year 2000 transition, and this will help narrow down your search. So if I clicked on that one, now I have fewer results, so it's a little easier to wade through the information. But once again, things are going to look the same. You're going to just go ahead and click on that article. You're going to have your citation tool at the top, and if you signed in, you can save this right to your Google Drive. Very easy. I do want to point out, back at this assignment resource page, I do have some ebook resources that are coming to us from a different company. It is these, everything from 90s in America through This Is Who We Were in the 2010s. They look a little bit different. The interface is going to be different. Your search box is over here. And once you find an article and you click on it, from there you can go ahead and once again save it to your Google Drive, and your citation generator is right here, but you need to click on the format you need. It's not going to automatically format it in MLA, so you can go ahead and click on the MLA and then you can go ahead and save your citation. So that was just a short overview on how the library can help with your assignment. If you have any questions, my office is located in the Learning Commons, and my email address is also on the main library webpage, so you can always send me an email if it's not convenient for you guys to stop in during your day. So I hope this was helpful, and good luck on your assignment.